Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hoppy Time podcast. I'm Lena,
I am Flames Kid.
And I'm Chris Cass.
and today is May 10th, just for reference. But so we're not recording on the day we were supposed to, and that sounds,
And we're
typical.
also not recording on the days we're supposed to.
Well, we're kind of
record.
making up for the previous week's episode. But, sorry, Lena, I cut you off. But this episode will be posted the same day it was recorded.
Yes, we're gonna try and get these episodes out and not hold on to them for so long, so that everyone can just try to stay on par with us. That way we're not releasing 5 at once.
I know, I'm sorry.
Forgive us for that one. But yeah, we'll see how we get this going. But the only reason we didn't get to really record was because it was Mother's Day, or Mother's Day weekend in general. So we were trying to just kind of celebrate that and be respectful. So we're making up for it now.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've established a little bit of a format already, as far as like our covers go and our episodes, and we have enough recording gear that, it makes it easy for me to put out the episodes basically same day.
Yeah, it's coming together.
Yep. So, Alina, don't try to diverge from speaking about your week and your very eventful week and a half.
Very, very eventful. As per usual, school. School's been going well. It's coming towards an end, and thank God, because it's my first full semester in quite a while, and I feel like it's just kind of dragging. But I'm still having fun. I'm still enjoying it. Just kind of over it. But my little brother is back to playing baseball, so that's pretty cool. He just had his first game for like the second half of their season, because they break them up into two, and it's a lot different because there are a lot of kids that are added to the teams because they were scrambled. He's on a new team and new teammates, and so now we kind of have to start over and like learn everybody's name and what numbers they are.
So what team is he on now?
He is now on the Cubs.
Let's go Cubs.
Yeah. This
Woo.
That's the only time you'll hear me really say that. But yeah, I hope the team goes really well. It was a very interesting first game, honestly. They were down. They were down pretty bad. And then next thing you know, they're just my little brother, actually, not to toot, that little horn, but he got a rally going. He hit like a double, and everybody just kept going, and then we were able to like tie it up and then go then some, and yeah, like it just kept going back and forth, and it ended up being a really fun game. We were pretty nervous at the beginning, and we were kind of over it. Like, we thought we had lost the game already.
Let's just say what we were thinking. We thought he was on the suckish team. I'm sorry.
Like I said, it's new teammates. We don't know a lot of these kids. We don't even know them from other teams because
Those kids suck.
no,
I'm just kidding.
they play high school baseball, and per their rules, you're not allowed to play. You're not allowed to play in like other leagues when you're playing in a high school team. So now I guess that season's over with the high school kids, so they're able to play in these the second half of the season, and I think that's why they break it up, so that more kids can actually come and they can make more money. But yeah, so there's a lot of new kids that I didn't even know from they weren't even there the last half, so it's really interesting to get to know them and see how it goes. But yeah, it honestly wasn't looking very well. There was a lot of errors, a lot of strikeouts, but somewhere towards like the end of the game, it got really exciting, and I'm hopeful that maybe it was just first game, new players, and they're still getting to know each other. But I hope we have a good, good second half of the season, because the first one went really well.
Good rest of the season.
Or good rest of the season, because the first half of it, they only lost 2 games, and that was from a travel team that was really good. So I was proud of that.
I hope they show up again. Actually, no, never mind. We don't know this team. Don't show up again, travel team.
Don't show up again.
They're going to show up.
Stay away.
Imagine. Yeah, so there was that. I had that game. We had Cinco de Mayo just recently passed, and we went to go see Doctor Strange, and we'll get into that one so that we can all pitch in our comments, opinions, and all that good stuff. And then it was Mother's Day, and for Mother's Day,
how'd you go from Cinco de Mayo to Mother's Day?
I don't know.
Dang.
You just skipped like 4 days.
You jumping through time here.
How? Well, then nothing else happened.
Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday.
Well, the game was in there. That's why I mentioned the game.
But you're kind of like
Okay,
you're busting a Quentin Tarantino going back and forth.
Well, that's how he keeps. Hey, he's
That's how
very
he makes
famous.
Great movies.
Exactly. He made 8 incredible films.
He is actually my favorite director.
Possibly a 9th in the show.
Yeah, possibly a 9th. I don't know about that show.
Well, we'll
Possibly
see.
a 9th.
I mean, how can he end it there? He has a great following. People like.
But that's why.
Yeah.
I know. It's real.
He's
how do I explain it?
thinking like a true genius. It's just like you make a certain amount of things and you're done. That's it.
Because the last thing you want to do is produce so much that
Yeah, the last thing you want to
don't
do is burn
produce
yourself
trash.
out.
right.
Or burn your creation out.
Yeah. No. I understand, but that is one of the reasons why he was very popular, as much as his style is, because the first thing you want to do is just throw out like the ending and see what kind of chaos is happening, and then going back and forth, explaining it.
He does a really good job of doing that, actually.
Yeah, and it's always frustrating as a viewer, but then everything pieces together, and it just the feeling it really gets to you.
Yeah, I remember realizing what kind of films he made, and then it's just like, okay, what else has he done? And then you see all these freaking movies that you've heard before, like Pulp Fiction and Jackie Brown. Well, I mean, you never really heard of Jackie Brown. Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that these are all movies that I had already seen. I just didn't know who had directed them. I didn't really care at the time.
Yeah.
I just wanted to watch movies, and these came up on Netflix, and I'm just like, all right, fuck it, I'll watch it. Reservoir Dogs is a great fucking watch.
Great film.
Highly recommend it. I don't know about Jackie Brown, but I watched it because it got to the point where I'm just like, I need to watch all his films. I just have to do it.
Yeah. No, and like Kill Bill. I saw Kill Bill as a young kid because my parents are young, so they were into that stuff. Yeah. I didn't know what the heck I was watching. I just remember, the lady in the suit had a sword. All this stuff happens, and then you grow older and you rewatch it, and everything starts to really make sense because you're more developed.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my god.
So the funny thing about Tarantino is that in Pulp Fiction, where what's his name takes out what's her name on to that
dance
to the dance thing.
Yeah.
You know that story that she tells him about that TV show that she had a shot for or whatever.
Yeah.
That whole conversation is basically Kill Bill.
Oh.
So just go back and listen to it and listen to what Uma Thurman tells him about the show, and it's literally Kill Bill word for fucking word. And this was years before. Well, not years. Yeah, a couple years before actually.
Yeah, it was. It
was a couple years before, so it just gets you thinking damn, that dude's a fucking genius. That's amazing.
He pieces it all together.
Yeah.
Almost
anyways.
as good as Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think?
We're not gonna get into the whole topic of directors and stuff, but
well, it's still Lena's week, so we can't really get into that.
Yeah, so I think Tarantino's good. He's one of my favorites for sure. Is he my favorite? No. But he is one of my favorites.
What?
What?
He's one of your favorites, but he's not your favorite.
He's not my favorite.
Oh, okay.
He's in the top.
Okay, he's in my top 5 basically, but
top 5. Wow, that's.
But he's not my favorite director.
He's my favorite, 100% hands down.
But
anything he direct, I will watch. I don't have to see previews, nothing. You tell me the man directed it, I will watch it. God damn it! I saw Jackie Brown, man. Anybody who's seen Jackie Brown knows what I'm talking about.
Ooh. But yeah, what else have you been up to?
I want to say that's about it. Nothing else rings a bell. Did we do anything else?
Man, let me bring you up to speed, okay? Since the last podcast, we got
last time on Yu-Gi-Oh.
We got a lot of love from George Lopez and his brewing company.
Well, I was gonna mention that later, but okay.
It's a good time to bring it up now.
Okay.
So if you remember correctly, our last episode was Lil Mexi by the George Lopez Brewing Company and another company called Bruce Hall.
Is it even out yet?
Yeah, it's already out.
Yeah, the Bruce Hall, they had their grand opening, I think, 5 days ago. It was about a day or two after he gave us shout outs and shared a lot of love.
Yeah, and it was amazing because while we've gotten love from other breweries, it was the first time that the person kind of responsible for it, or like the face behind it, kind of shared us, you know, and that was cool because, you know, he's Latino, and I feel like, you know, he's just trying to help, you know, the smaller.
I was just about to say, is it because you think we're Mexicans?
No, it's not even because of that. I think it's just him trying to like push us up a little bit, you know, and while sharing us on his story is a big deal, at least for us. You know, getting the love that we got from his brewing company the day after was amazing too. You know, they even invited us to their brewery, which is amazing.
Not personally, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but still.
It was still an open invitation, you know?
Yeah, and that's cool. But yeah, as far as like what I've been up to, same old work. Like Lena mentioned, we went to go see Multiverse of Madness, which I kind of have mixed feelings about. What else? We did get to see Lena's little brother play baseball. I still think that he's on the suckish team, unfortunately.
It was one game. It's really hard to determine that.
One game is enough to know.
I don't know.
Well, we'll see. It was Mother's Day. We did celebrate Lena's mom and my mom together. We took them out for breakfast, and then in the evening we made filet mignon, watching WrestleMania Backlash with Hugo and his brother over. That was pretty fun. Super random, but fun nonetheless. And actually, we were supposed to record that day with them as special guests, but things just didn't play out. It was kind of late. The next day we all worked. So I just figured, you know what? We'll save it for another time. So this is an open invitation, obviously, to Hugo and to his brother that at some point in the near future, you guys are both to be on.
Yeah.
Because that'll be a treat for our listeners. But yeah, realistically, I haven't really been that busy, I think.
Oh, we've been playing Digimon.
Oh my god.
We're getting better at
You've
it.
been wanting to play Digimon is the weird part. And I didn't want
She
to
liked
say
it, that's why.
No, I know. I didn't want to say anything,
No.
but you were the one bugging him the other day to play.
The only reason I did that was because the day before he asked me, he's like, are we gonna duel? Or have, like, you know, play? And I made fun of him, and I was like, oh, I don't know, I'm kind of busy. And then he got all like, oh, okay, you're never gonna play with me again, are you? And then I was like, I feel so bad. And don't get me wrong, I find it frustrating because I'm still learning stuff and I keep forgetting simple steps. But I think it also was based off of the deck I started with, the purple deck. It gave me anxiety because of the purpose of it, and it didn't make sense to me.
So decide by yourself.
But I don't want to. But with the other deck that I was using, it made more sense, and I was able to enjoy it. And then we even got to, I didn't mention, we even got to kind of show my little brother how it works, because he's pretty interested in the game now. And I think he liked it too. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about inclusivity.
It's a good floor to get in right now.
Yeah.
You're basically
it's a
starting
fun
bottom
game.
floor.
I like that the cards basically tell you what to do. You just have to really be thorough on reading
That's
it.
every card game, to be honest.
It starts off like that. Yu-Gi-Oh was the same way when it started.
I don't know. I've read Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And
No, that's why.
No. See,
when it
over
started.
the years, this game has been in rotation for like 20 years, I think. Almost 20 years. Almost 20 years, let's just say. So the rules change, the meta changes. You know, the way cards operate with other cards and like different mechanics come out and stuff like that. It's gonna be this. Digimon example, the new mechanic that's gonna come out, the DNA Digivolution.
Right.
Stuff like that came out for Yu-Gi-Oh too. At first, it was just fusion monsters, which was fusing them together, kind of like Digimon. But then eventually, it just got more complicated and stuff like that. But it's just to keep the game interesting over the years.
I get that. I do. I feel like for me, I know Flames Kid would love it for me to get into Yu-Gi-Oh. One, it doesn't entirely call my interest, mostly because, not because it's a bad game, but because it's been so developed over the years that
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be lost and I'm just gonna get my ass kicked the entire way. And then there's so many
Well,
different.
it's not that. It's like I said, like there've been so many. Well, adding to what you're trying to say, it's just there's so many mechanics. There's so much for you to learn in such a small amount of time.
Yeah.
And honestly, not knowing something, I can't tell you that. Oh yeah, it's okay. You don't have to know that. Like no, you have to know it. You have to know how it works.
Yeah.
And that's what makes.
And
it
then there's
complicated.
like ban lists, and you have to keep
Yeah.
up with it.
That's good though. But
There's so much to it that I feel that will be more overwhelming.
no,
Than
you're
Digimon.
right. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. I've been liking Digimon, getting a little bit more comfortable with the steps. And
It happens over time, dude. It's
Yeah.
like you guys play each other. You guys mess up. You guys like, oh shit, I did the misplay. But
Yeah.
eventually you'll start learning, and then you're gonna play those decks to a T.
yeah, and then I'm gonna beat Flames Kid and
Yeah.
just topple him,
Psych.
leave him in the dust.
There's gonna be It's gonna get up to the point where you guys are gonna start calling each other. I was like, oh no, you can't do that because of this, or oh, you can't do that because of that.
I think we kind of started. Not so much, but like we'll call each other out,
Yeah.
like, oh, you didn't draw,
Oh,
or
okay.
like, oh, you know, stuff, little things.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all in the process of learning.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I feel like it's still pretty new that I don't feel so behind and useless.
You know, it's gonna be very random, but you said it was May 10th at the beginning of the podcast, but it's actually May 11th.
Is it May 11th?
Yep.
Oops, sorry. It's May 11th.
So if you got this far into the podcast, yeah, Lino's wrong. It's not May 10th. It's May 11th.
I'm usually wrong, right?
I'm not gonna answer that.
Trick
So,
question.
I
I'm
know.
always right.
Anyways, so Chris Cass, what about you? What have you been up to?
Yeah.
Nothing new. New season Apex kicked in, so I guess I'm gonna start focusing on that a little bit more.
How does that work? It's a video game. They have seasons?
Yeah, so like instead of being boring, I want to say Fortnite was the one that came up with the season shit.
Oh.
But this is way back when Fortnite was still good.
Okay.
They, instead of having the same game over the years and just one giant big patch and changes the game,
Okay.
they decided to have seasons. So they had the battle pass. That's the first game I remember with a battle pass.
Okay.
Essentially, you keep playing the game and the game gives you free stuff. If you buy the battle pass, you get exclusive stuff,
Okay.
but they still give you money back if you buy the battle pass, because as you level up, they give you in-game currency if you buy the battle pass.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it leads up to more than what you paid for. So for example, if I paid like $5 to buy the battle pass can give me $7 instead, just from leveling up. So going back to the seasons, eventually it got to the point where having one battle pass for the year wasn't enough, so they kind of just did it for like seasons. And it's basically 2 seasons for every game. It kind of changes from here and there, but it's basically it's kind of it's think about it like crap, what's an easy way to put it?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yeah,
It's like
I
a
know.
refresh. It's like a refresh, but with new
Kinda.
features. So, like for example, like season 1 would be like just your basic standard game, and then season 2 comes out and it's like, oh well, we've added new guns, and we added a new map.
So like an update.
Yeah. Essentially, every season means like a big update. So they change a lot of stuff in the game, So for example, Apex, every season they kind of change the damage on the guns or how they operate. They probably give it more recoil, or they take away bullets from it because they think it's too strong, or they take away damage from it, stuff like that.
Okay.
So every season they tend to mess with the guns here and there. And
Okay.
and basically, a new season just started right now, so a new player came out, or a new character came out, and they, like I said, they changed a bunch of the gun stats or whatever. My friend Axel kind of wants to get they changed the way the ranking system works, basically. This is where it all started. This is the freaking seed that planted the thing, I guess. They changed up the ranking system, so my friend Axel said it's like, hey, you know what? Like, I kind of want to, be a little serious about it. To at least take it seriously. Try to rank up or try to get up there.
He's like, I actually want to try this time.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, I actually want to try this time, even though like he was actually doing pretty good before. But he told me like, I want to try this time. I'm like, okay, for sure. Like, and I was thinking about it. I was just like, yeah, it'll feel nice to have somebody else to try with. So I basically decided like, okay, like I'll try this season and see how far we get. But aside from that, I fixed my car today. It was making a weird noise, and I know what that noise is now, and I fixed it, and now it doesn't make the noise anymore. I also found out that my wheels are out of balance, because if anybody's ever been in my car, every time the car rolls, you kind of feel like it would vibrate a lot.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I remember.
So it comes to find out that my wheels are not balanced. I checked the balancing on one today, and it was completely out. As it was spinning on the machine, I can see like the oval shape that the tire was making. I'm just like, yep, that's not good.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's weird how it operates, but basically my wheels are out of balance.
Okay.
So if your wheels aren't balanced, normally you'll feel like kind of like vibrations on the road. Just
when
like,
you're stepping on it.
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
Like you could be stepping on it, you cannot be stepping on it. You'll feel like small vibrations, not nothing major, But your ride isn't smooth.
How do you have to get them balanced, like your tires balanced often?
Yes.
How often?
Normally I'd probably say every 2-3 months. Depending on how much driving you do. Like if you drive a lot, I would probably do it every month.
What? I've never heard of it. And then to do it every month?
And then if you don't drive so much, maybe 3-4 months. It's honestly not that serious. Like balancing your tires is not that serious.
Okay.
But when you start feeling like, those strong vibrations like I was feeling while driving, then it becomes a problem. Because at work, I just balanced one tire, my side, because I was feeling like excessive. Like I want to see if it's the balancing on the tire. And like I said, I put it on the machine and I kind of saw that it was off, and I'm like, okay, it's not good. So I decided to balance it, and I did. And while driving home, I noticed a huge difference in how my car felt.
But why not balance all of them?
Because I wanted to see if that was the issue. Why waste my time doing all of them if it didn't work, or if that wasn't the problem,
Okay.
I was just wasting time, so I tested it.
It takes long?
Kinda, because first I have to pull off all 4 tires from the car, so that already takes some time.
Yeah.
But it takes a little bit of time. So I decided to try it, and it worked. So I know it's that. Now I just need to go back and balance all the other ones.
I've never done that. Is it pricey to go ask?
Not really.
No.
They charge like $10 at my job.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like stuff that you get done when they like when they install new tires.
Yeah.
They always balance them when you install them, but you kind of forget to do that. It's like you kind of forget.
It's kind of like a wheel alignment, You know how for me, it's like when you hit a pothole really hard, or when you take a speed bump too hard, or you basically just knock something on your car. You don't necessarily have to break it or anything.
Yeah.
Just get your alignment checked. You never know, man. Your alignment goes out like this.
Yeah.
From one day to the next. You could literally have a brand new car one day, hit a pothole that same day, and your alignment's automatically out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's crazy how there's a lot of things that go into having a car. It's like literally it's like a child. You have to do like the oil changes, and then when I was first getting started with driving, my uncle was like, make sure you do the oil changes. Make sure when they do the oil changes, you ask for them to rotate your tires.
Yep.
And
Smart man.
do all these things. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. And like, there's just so many more things that you have to keep up with and keep an eye on. And it's not easy having a car.
A car is very expensive.
Very.
Whether you buy it new or you buy it used, it's very expensive.
Yeah, and that just goes back to like, since I'm in the business of selling tires, I sometimes see people with sports cars or something get really cheap tires for their car. So I'm just like, dude, like you want like a brand new sports car, but you don't want to do an alignment when you get new tires and you're buying cheap tires for your car. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. I have a old sports car, nothing fancy, but I didn't want to cheap out on the tires either, just because even with those cars, they're meant for some type of performance, whether it be, you're adjusting it and modifying it to be more performance wise or basic like mine. And I wouldn't want to throw cheaper tires on them and risk something happening because they're not meant for that type of car.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
It's like when people order like tires for their Tesla. So Tesla has to have a certain grade tire on it.
Oh, okay.
And by force, like they have to have those grade tires because of the way the car is. Basically, I don't want to get into small details, but basically because of the way the car is, you need specific tires. Some people go ahead and order tires online from us, from a retail shop online, and we basically serve as their installers, right?
Oh, okay.
So when somebody orders cheap tires for like their Tesla or their BMW or for their Mercedes, tires that are not up to their grade, and we get them, and we see that, they ordered cheap tires, we're just like, hey, you know what? We can't install these for you. And they're just like, why? Why can't you do it? It's like, because these tires aren't made for that car. If we install them...
You're going to be liable.
Exactly. If we install them, if you blow out, if your tire blows out the next day or whenever, and you haven't serviced them properly, they're going to come back to us because we're the last people that touch them.
Right.
So we just stay away from it. It's like, you can take the time. I've seen people, like, be mad at that stuff, and like they get angry and they just get their tires and they angrily throw them in the car, and I'm just like, dude, like that's understandable. Like, why are we gonna take extra liability for something that the customer did that's not right?
Yeah, because it's easy for them to say, oh, you won't do it for me, but then if something happens, it's, well, you put them on my vehicle.
Yep. Exactly. Pretty much.
Flames Kid and I got pretty addicted to the People's Court on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
You hear a lot of crazy stories on there, simple stuff, and like they're just suing for like $400, little small claims.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what's funny? You know how I got into watching those kind of shows?
How?
Graham Stephan?
No, not at all. So back when I was in 6th grade, one of my teachers, my English teacher, she was really into these kind of shows. Like during like, lunch, like the periods where like we were like at
free periods, basically.
Yeah, free periods.
Okay.
She would always turn on the TV in her room. She had a big old TV, and she would watch like the People's Court, like Judge Mathis and stuff like that.
It was on then?
Dude, those shows have been going on forever.
Dude. Oh, well, I know. Like those types of judge shows have been around forever because I remember seeing them, Fox 11 and stuff like that. But I don't know what show is how old and all that stuff.
They're all pretty old, dude. It's just Judge Judy outshined
all of them.
Yeah,
I even
all
know
of them.
Caso Cerrado.
Oh no, that came way after though.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. See, I don't know when they started.
Yeah.
I just know they've been around.
Yeah. So my teacher, she would get like all excited, like when she would either side with the defendant or the what is the other
from
called?
the beginning or
from the beginning, like it was what's the other person called?
The plaintiff.
The plaintiff. There you go. So she would side with one or the other. She was like, "Oh, he was it. Like it's his fault." And she would get all into it. And then when it didn't go her way, it's like, "God damn it!" Like she was like really into it.
Oh.
So she got me really like hooked on them for a while. So I would come home, and by the time I got home, those shows were kind of over.
Okay.
So I wouldn't really get to see anything. But now as an adult, like seeing those shows and like popping up on YouTube, it's fun to watch them because
I get excited.
you see the dumb shit people say or like
we're the adults laughing now.
Like think about it, dude.
I
Like
was just gonna say that
if you're gonna get something done, like wouldn't you want it in writing? Especially if it's coming from like an accredited shop or something like that.
The thing is not a lot of people know.
It's not even about knowing, dude. It's just common sense. Like you're gonna get work done. You want paperwork. You want a paper trail for that.
If people don't know, it's not common sense,
It's
dude.
not. You're in the line of business of selling because you're a plumber. But like, let's just say you worked for.
Exactly. You can't. It's common sense.
No, it's not. Okay, I was gonna say like you're working for a bad company. Like, okay, for example, I don't know if it's safe to say, but you get praised for the type of summaries that you do for jobs.
Okay.
What if there's somebody, not to say that there is, but what if there's certain plumbers that just say, I did this, and they don't give as much detail? What if that customer decides to sue, and that person didn't put all those details in writing?
But that okay. I get where your point is going, but that's not what I was trying to say. I'm just trying to say is like as a consumer,
Okay.
I was like, why would you pay a certain amount of money for something and not get it in writing or not get anything in
Well,
paperwork?
guess what? When you're presenting these options to customers, if you don't give them all the details and they're signing off on it thinking they're safe,
You're not getting my question.
Here's the thing though, man. It's like some people, they take the cheap route.
yeah.
And taking the cheap route, automatically you will start to assuming things, and you're correct on those things. On the cheap route, people are not gonna put into paperwork what they did.
Okay.
People are not gonna keep track or stuff like that. You know, like stuff that you want, that you normally want done, are not gonna do it if you take the cheap route.
Okay.
And
So,
that's
again, you guys are not understanding my question or what I'm trying to say.
You're saying that it's common sense for certain things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
not everyone thinks the same. To you, you think that.
No. Okay. It should be common sense because let me finish. It should be common sense because if I'm gonna go take my car, even if I'm taking the cheapest route ever, but I'm going to a licensed shop, it could be the cheapest route I'm going.
If you're going to a licensed shop, you're not taking the cheapest.
I'm
route
telling you
ever.
because I've lived it. I've seen it. So if you go to a cheap shop and you're telling them, oh, well, I want this, they're gonna be like, okay, well, $200, whatever, and they do the work and they give you no paper trail whatsoever. They just $200 cash done. I've seen licensed shops do that. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you is like, why as a consumer, as an adult, would you not want anything in writing? And most of my customers will ask me, oh, well, can I get it in writing, or can you send me an invoice, whatever? So those, I get that, but like, there's other people who go and do work at these shops. Like it's mostly mechanics that I'm talking about, because that's where I mostly see it. As like you go and you get something done, and yeah, they maybe charge you like $100, $200 to do something simple, but they never get any paperwork back.
A lot of it has to do with systems that they do or don't have.
You can write it up. There's written invoices. There should be no excuse to that. I'm just trying to say like that was just my whole point. It wasn't like to bring up anything else. It was just like a common sense as an adult. If you're getting work done, why not get it in writing? Because then that's how a lot of people get screwed over, and that's how the people's court happens.
Well, like I said, man,
Those
the
are not
cheap route
always-
ain't gonna be do it.
That is true, but that's not always the stuff that we see. They could be certain situations where somebody changes their mind and they decide to take it into their own hands, not knowing that it's actually legal, or maybe they do know. I don't know. Everybody's different, and different trades have different pros and cons. And working with certain people are pros and cons. Sometimes you think you're working with someone you can trust, and they end up screwing you over. So you have to take them to court in order to get your money back. But
So, in that topic of people you can trust, finish us off, Chris Cass, because we got to get into this beer.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
why beer? We still have more to talk about.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, we kind of got into this huge tangent.
I know, huge
about.
I know. I don't even know what I was talking about. That's what I'm saying.
You
Like,
were
what do
talking
wanna
about
know?
balancing your wheels.
We went from balancing your wheels to talking about people's court.
I'm sorry. I just had to ask all those questions because I've had a car for, let's not talk about how many years, and I've never thought like, oh, let me go to the mechanic and ask him to balance my wheels. I'm pretty sure.
You know what? I have never thought about that either. These are just things that you learn, man. It's just things that you pick up, you know?
Exactly.
It-
Well, you
it's
see,
just like-
if they would have put it on paper, that's what they recommend.
See, that's what I mean.
well,
Put it
that's
on paper.
that's what we do, and that basically just takes me back to what my job is trying to do right now, and I kind of don't want to go into it, so I'm trying to stay as far away from that topic as possible.
Understandable.
But-
Anything else you've been up to?
No, I just gotta balance my other 3 tires.
You can keep us updated on how that went.
And then you can take my car to work next
All right,
week.
so I am Apex Bronze right now.
Oh no.
I will see how far I get in a week, and my Axel is telling me to play right now, but I cannot because I'm here with you guys.
There you
So
go.
we're getting in the way, huh?
Yeah,
Now we're in the way.
Yep.
Huh.
yep, that's how it is.
Well, Lena, introduce us to today's beer.
Well, today, and as we mentioned earlier, we were supposed to do this on Saturday, and maybe even Sunday, but we lost those opportunities. And today is Wednesday, May 11th. Fixing my mistake from earlier. We're going to be going over El Segundo's Brewing Company's collaboration with Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, by the way, Broken Skull IPA.
What?
I know. It's such a mouthful.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, so El Segundo's Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA. That is a name there. But yeah, so I picked this beer up from Bevmo here in Lakewood, and I really wanted to review it because words can't even describe how influential he was to the wrestling world, and how much he has dedicated. Even though he wasn't able to wrestle all he wanted to, his career was cut a little short, which we can get into later. But I really just wanted to pay tribute to that because we were supposed to watch. Well, we did watch WWE's Backlash on Sunday, and it's just interesting that he was recently on WWE for his impromptu match with Kevin Owens, and I just wanted to pay tribute and see what the beer tastes like, because when he was on the show, and every time he's been on the show since I want to say the last few years since he's had this beer, he comes out and they're just kind of throwing it everywhere. He's drinking it nonstop, and we're curious to see how it tastes.
All right, so let's get into this crackening.
Mine came out super foamy since the moment I opened it.
Mine came out.
Smells good.
It does smell good.
It smells really good.
All right. Well, before I get into, the only Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'm going to give some love to the Brewing Company. So this is El Segundo Brewing Company. And with a desire to brew a beer as delicious as it was being made down in San Diego, the founder, Rob Croxall, started with a home brewing kit, and he used it for a decade in his garage. And I found that pretty cool because that's usually how a lot of people start off when brewing beer. So I didn't find that too off. So that was for about 10 years, and then in 2010 they leased the space that they currently occupy now, and the address for that is 140 Main Street. That's all that they had right there. So then, starting off with the capacity of only 60 barrels of beer a month, that's what they were producing. They now make over 400 barrels of beer. So, stating that they focused on hops was always the plan, and they obtained access to these hops that we wanted, and the customers found it very pleasing, and they just couldn't get enough, so they say. And from their website, I got this directly. It says hop forward beers make an overwhelming portion of what we do, mostly because that's what we want to drink. That glorious flower that humans have adored for well over a millennium. Our beers showcase the best of what industrious and creative growers around the world have accomplished in the past few decades. Hop varieties like Citra, Mosaic, Nelson, Simcoe, just to name a few, have amazing aromas of citrus, pine, tropical fruits, and dankness explode out of the glass when these beers are young. And batches of our beer are designed to be made on and off the shelves within 6 weeks. And if by chance the beer gets to the 90-day mark, we pull it off the shelves and replace them with fresh product. Canned on dates can be found on the bottom of the cans, and we work tirelessly with retailers to maintain shelves as fresh as possible. That is good. That is cool.
Honestly,
That's why it smells so fresh.
It really does.
it smells really good, and I think I'm about to give it a taste right now because it looks good.
It looks really fresh. It
Yeah.
smells really fresh. It's gonna be fresh, guys. Fresh.
They also state our freshness offerings directly to your door for a flat rate shipping rate of $25 to California addresses only. Cannot be combined with other bottles. So they have like packages.
You know, surprising.
$25 hairs
$25
to my door.
to your door.
Well,
I mean, why would you pay for $25 when you could go to the Brewing company? They're like down the street.
yeah, they really are. El Segundo's like right by LAX.
Yeah.
True. Any California residents? It says.
It says all throughout only California, so they cannot cross state lines. They said if you want to buy it out of California, you have to buy it from like those companies that are meant for shipping beers.
Like Drizzly.
Yeah, stuff like that. They'll get it for you.
Yeah.
But they also have a beer finder on their website, so any beer that you're interested in, you can see what retailers may have it around your area.
So let me give you my point of view so far. He used to drink Bud Lights and Budweisers on the show, and he went from that to this.
He made something that tastes like a Bud Light and Budweiser, but better.
Not even close.
Take two.
Close.
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 I said close.
Anyways, what more can you tell us about this brewing company?
That was just about everything.
That was
I
it?
found. Yeah.
Damn, that was
That's
Wow.
all that they have on their
Oh
page.
my god.
That's all that they have on their page.
Jesus.
So since 2010, they've been located in that same area. They've just been producing so many different beers. They actually have an anniversary pack for pre-sale, so they're gonna release that pretty soon, and it looks pretty cool.
Can we get on that pre-sale?
We can if we pay for it.
Should we get on that pre-sale?
We should.
We should.
You know what's funny about talking about pre-sales? I went to an area today called Rancho Los Cerritos here in Long Beach.
Is that a pre-sale?
No, I've never been there. But apparently it's like a historic site, right? And I guess anybody's allowed to go in. Like you can go have picnics there and stuff.
But nobody's allowed to come out.
No, but
Damn it.
but
Come on, man. Give me something to work with.
no. But the guy said that they host like I guess beer fests.
Ooh.
He said they just had one in April, but that they would have the next one in September, and it's free. And he said there's a lot of microbreweries from Long Beach that go there just giving away free beer, basically.
What do you mean giving away free beer?
Yeah, just basically so you can taste the beer, so they give you free beer.
They're-
Like cups.
They're
Yeah.
small
Or-
breweries, so
yeah.
they're trying to get like more,
Yeah,
known.
I get it.
and so they
You-
give out samples.
You guys should watch that show I'm telling you guys about.
Oh yeah. You know what's funny is I was listening to that episode, and I remember hearing about that, and I still need to watch that show on Netflix.
It's really good. It's really funny too. Oh, well, I don't know if you guys like that kind of humor, but I do. It's very witty, like, subtle humor, I guess. But yeah, man, you guys should totally give it a watch. And like I said, it has something to do with beer, so it's nice because every now and then they give you like a little beer fact.
Right. No, that's good. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a try.
Yeah.
You guys really should. It's good.
Yeah, with the brothers, I do want to give it a try just because it gives us a deeper understanding of the business. And I mean, what little do we know, we're getting into reviewing beers, but maybe one day in the future we have our own.
Even if it's just an exaggeration of that, it's like, we still learned something.
Yeah,
At least about how things kind of work.
it's part of our business industry.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right. So I guess I'll just give some information based off of the beer that we are having. So as I mentioned, it is Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA. And as the can states, it is a badass 6.7 IPA designed by Steve Austin and
Is
El
that-
Segundo Brewing Company.
Is that better than a regular 6.7 IPA?
I want to say. We don't know.
All right. So like a 6 point. So this one's like a 6.7. badass. So maybe like a, I don't know, 7.8.
What?
Are you okay?
What? It's saying it's a badass version of a 6.7. So what is a badass version? Like a 7.8 maybe? I don't know. Is that really what this beer is?
It's a badass 6.7 alcohol by volume IPA.
Yeah, exactly. That's a badass 6.7. So what is it really?
I don't know. We should get it tested.
Yeah, see, this ain't working.
So it's a beer for the working man and woman. It features hops such as Citra, Cascade, and Chinook, and to deliver flavor with an easy finish. Now stop reading this and start enjoying this awesome beer. Cheers.
I think we should listen to that.
Listen to what?
Stop reading and enjoy this beer.
Oh well, yeah, and you are drinking it.
I'm enjoying it actually.
I could tell. And it says it right there.
I don't see. Oh, okay, there it is.
Yep.
Sometimes I think that when like he's on the show, I don't think he's really drinking this beer.
So that is it. Let's give him some context. The reason,
Okay.
one of the reasons why we did want to choose this beer, or at least get to it one day, and I finally just chose it because he comes out and he's just like, someone's tossing this beer to him. He's opening them up and he's tossing them, and he's just downing it, and it just looks so fun. And he like throws it on people. It's pretty interesting. And so we wanted to see what it would taste like, because if it's a pretty bitter IPA or something really, really strong, it's probably not something that's easy to just,
Honestly, it is kind of bitter though.
So it is an American style IPA, 6.7 alcohol by volume, 40 IBU rating. And to go over the hops that I mentioned, Citra has fruity characteristics, strong citrus aromas, such as flavors of lime, grapefruit, bright orange, mango, and gooseberry.
Yeah, you can totally taste that.
Cascade is a pleasant, flowery, spicy, and citrusy flavor.
You can taste that as
typically like grapefruit.
That's mostly in the aftertaste.
Chinook is mild to medium heavy, spicy, piney grapefruit. So it's pretty fruity.
So that kind of adds on to the first one, the Citra.
Yeah.
You guys taste fruity? I taste the piney. I don't taste the fruity part of it.
I smell more fruity than I taste it, but
I taste more citrus.
yeah.
I taste more citrus than anything else.
It
Hold on,
smells
let me double
really fresh. Like,
Yeah.
God, when we were just pouring it, the flavor
It smells
just smacked.
Really good. Yeah, it smells
Yeah,
really
that-
good.
It smells amazing.
Yeah, I agree with that. It smells
Even-
pretty good.
Even in your cup, dude, like just kind of smell it
As it's
and-
sitting there,
yeah,
like-
it smells really fresh. But I think that goes like to like the Citra and more like the flowery, taste
Cascade,
to it.
yeah, the Cascade hops. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what makes it smell so fresh because of those bright, aromas.
Right.
So fresh and so clean.
My school's motto for high school was "So fresh, so clean." Class of 2015.
Ah, genius.
We were.
I don't even know mine, man. I wasn't even part of my student body at that point.
It was really just kind of thrown at us. Newer type of school really tries to get their points across. And they kind of throw it
for
in your
sure.
face.
I feel sorry for you. You have to go through that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this beer is pretty amazing. I think it's really refreshing on top of the flavors.
It is.
And
It is
yeah.
really good.
I want to see the can. I was trying to read the date on the can, but it's a little hard to read. Oh, it says hell yeah. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
It says
Oh.
4/25/22.
Wait.
Oh my god.
Say that one more time.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Yeah.
No, it's can I get a oh yeah.
my
Can I
God.
get a oh yeah?
Wait, what is it?
Where does it say hell yeah?
Right there.
Boom! You smashed the can into his face, dude. That's what you're supposed to
Oh
do.
yeah, it says hell yeah.
That's why it's there.
Oh my
That's
god.
It's like,
Amazing.
oh, dude, this is hell yeah on the can. Where? You show it to them and go, boom,
Here, let
just
me show
smash it
you.
on their
Let me
face.
show you. Let me show you.
No, I'm good. I know where it is. I saw it.
That's cool though.
That's really cool.
You know what,
That's
the-
his
the-
personality.
Yeah, it's so cool that they give you an excuse to smash it into somebody's face.
Well, we don't promote violence and we don't
You know-
advocate for it.
You know what's crazy? I would have expected. Okay, so for those that don't know, in WWF, Steve Austin had what's called the Broken Skull WWF Championship.
Right.
So it had a skull on the front of it instead of the eagle that was at the time.
Right. And it was broken, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm saying they should have like used that similar logo to this. Like it would have brought a lot of nostalgia.
Okay.
The thing is
see
you know
what you
what's odd is typically for WWE stars or anyone who was in contract with them, they kind of own your life from what I've heard and what I've seen so far. So like any movies that you come out with, the WWE is usually kind of given some type of credit, and I don't see that on here. So maybe that's why he wasn't really allowed to take that logo.
I take it back. It wasn't called the Broken Skull. It's called the Smoking Skull.
Smoking Skull.
And I like that they even have his like autograph on it.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it. That's cool. And I guess we haven't talked about what it looks like. So basically, it's a circle, a blue circle, and it has the name on it with a little skull on the side, and has a little crack on the top, so it's broken. And then there's kind of like thorns going all around the circle.
It's like barbed wire.
Oh yeah, barbed wire. Oh yeah, exactly, barbed wire, going all around it, and all throughout the can. So that's pretty cool.
It's a really cool can. Like Flames Kid said, it's kind of weird considering he came from Bud Lights and
definitely not what I thought it would taste like.
Yeah, well, it's not that. It's just like definitely not, something that I thought he would drink.
Right.
Because I would think he'd probably stick to the American stuff.
Well, it's an American style IPA. But hear me out. To add on to this, I've done some more research. So he also has an American style lager made for the working man and working woman, brewed with the finest American grown barley and hops. And it is the ultimate reward for a hard day at work. It is a 4.8 alcohol by volume beer, and it's easier than a 3-day weekend, so it states.
It's easier than a 3-day weekend? Holy shit.
So that one's probably a lot smoother, and as you mentioned, it might not be the one that he's downing. He might be taking the lager. We don't know. They look pretty similar in style.
For all we know, the man could be drinking water.
wait, there's a Broken Skull lager?
There's a Broken Skull lager.
Huh. I think that's it's gonna be on the list
I know.
try.
I know. We should have grabbed some. I didn't know until I was doing the research, and it was really interesting. It would have been more likely his style, but this is still really good, and I'm glad we're trying this.
It's
one.
really, really good.
It's good, but it does have that sourness.
Yeah, it has the bitterness.
The
Bitterness. Sorry. I guess now that we're getting into like talking about the actual beer and describing a little bit more in detail,
Yeah.
let's do the hoppy rating.
Real quick, I'm just showing you the picture of the lager.
Oh, what if that's what he's drinking on the show instead?
Oh, it has
Probably.
blue ribbon
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah, it does.
Oh God, blue
It
ribbon.
does.
Blue ribbon.
But it's
abs.
basically the same style of same style on the can. It's just blue with red barbed wire.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lena, start us off.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Okay.
Be as descriptive as you can.
As I possibly can try. I want to say the smell is like amazing. It smells so fresh, and it's a really strong smell, and it smells delightful. Like it's literally just fruity. That's the most that you smell. The fruity, the hints of, I guess, citra hops. It tastes more like the Cascade hops, where it's kind of piney. It does have a flowery taste to it. I do taste the fruitiness. The IBU rating is 40, but as we don't really depend on that one too much, it's more like a suggestion at this point. It is pretty bitter for my taste, but I do like it. I think it is something that I can offer, maybe not to a complete noob to craft beers, but someone who's at least tried a few things. Like, it kind of reminds me of V2K, and it's just really delightful. I want to give this maybe a 4.25.
Oh.
I really enjoy this, and that makes me really want to try the lager now because I'm curious to see what difference it might have and how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do the 4.25. I really enjoy it, and I really would like for people to try it. Like, I think this is something Hugo would like, and the reason why we really wanted to have Hugo on the podcast is because he's a big WWE fan too, and he grew up on watching
Attitude
that
Era.
stuff. Yeah, and then he Stone Cold Steve Austin was biggest at that time. So
Yeah, pretty much.
so that's my rating. What about
Okay.
you?
What? Oh no, I'll go last. What about you, Chris Cass?
Why do you get to go last?
Because I picked to go last.
It's not your pick today.
Fair enough. Straight up, I'm gonna give it a 3.75. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
you're on point.
3.75. I love this beer. This
Yeah.
beer is great. It's amazing.
Yes.
And the fact that I actually like it means that, somebody who ain't really accustomed to drinking these is gonna like it.
Okay.
I think it's the bitterness. The bitterness is what kind of kills it.
But I think as you keep drinking it, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's not even that strong of a bitterness. It's there. You can taste it, but it doesn't get any stronger. Normally when you drink something that's bitter, the more you drink it, the more bitter it gets.
Yeah, you just keep
Not-
tasting it.
Yeah, exactly. Not with this beer. Like with this beer, it kind of just it stays the same level of bitter no matter how much you drink it.
Right.
So giving it, that, considering that, it's just, it's almost to a 4 where I would kind of recommend it, but like I said, it's just the bitterness, the floral, the citra, everything else. It tastes amazing, man. Like I really, really like this beer. But you have to keep in mind that my ratings don't reflect on how much I like the beer. It's more of how much I would recommend it to somebody.
It's a combination.
Yeah.
All right, guess it's my turn. So my score is gonna be a 4, and here's why. Okay. It does smell great. When we first opened the can, that was the aroma we've got. We're like, wow, this smells good. It has a very nice, would you expect a beer to look like when you pour it into a mug? That's exactly what this looks like. So it has that beer look.
Mm-hmm.
Taste, yes, like Chris Castellina both said. It's a little bit of bitterness in there. But I mean, it's expected. It's an IPA. It's not a lager. It's not a sour. You expect that bitterness with an IPA. And I think that's what we kind of fail to forget sometimes. Even I was kind of surprised when I was like, man, why does this have a sour taste or like a bitter taste? But then I'm like, wait, it's an IPA. Of course it's going to have that. Yeah. How Lena kind of like compared it to V2K. I think it's more like Juicy Haze. I think Juicy Haze is that kind of bitter beer. Not to take away anything from the actual beer. It's actually pretty good. I'm almost done with it. I really enjoy it. I'm very looking forward to trying the lager though, because I'm more of a lager fan. I love lagers. They're more my thing. Not to say that IPAs are not, but it's just that I've always kind of liked trying different lagers, and I feel like they have a little bit more taste than IPAs do. So I think the American lager probably will have a bit more to offer than this one. But that doesn't take away from my score. I still give it a solid 4 because it is great. I would definitely recommend it. I would recommend it to those transitioning already from, your American lagers
Trying
into
something
like
new.
yeah, like somebody who's already used to drinking beer, because those who are barely getting into drinking beer at all, yeah, they're not gonna like it. It's gonna be this is not for us, type thing. So definitely it is for the more experienced, but it is something everybody should try, and definitely check out the brewery, in El Segundo.
Mm-hmm.
Support them. I think I've passed by there a few times.
Yeah, and I hope to review some of their more original beers, some of their traditional beers that they may have. I did happen to choose this because of Stone Cold, but I do want to see what else they have, because it's amazing to know that they can keep it so fresh.
Yeah, definitely. So, that being said, our overall hoppy rating is going to be a 4 out of 5, that's one of our highest ones.
It's a really good beer.
Yeah, it is, and I'm glad that we all agree on that. It, like I said, it's your IPA. It's funny because when you talk to people, even when I mention people, I have a podcast, the first thing they ask is, so you drink those IPAs? Like, it's like, well, yeah, like that's one of the main, beers out there. IPAs, of course, we're gonna try IPAs.
Craft beer is really getting very popular.
Yeah, it is. So to me, this is your typical IPA. This is those IPAs that it's gonna be bitter. It's gonna be a sour. It's gonna be not that great tasting, but it is great tasting.
What I try to focus on and remember is that every beer that we try is part of that group, where there are lagers, there are IPAs, double IPAs, hazy IPAs, triple IPAs. They fall into these categories for a reason. They're not meant to taste similar. So some are more pleasant to have than others. And I hate that sometimes when we're reviewing, we go by, like this one is just really strong. No, like somebody who's new won't like it. That is always something to consider, but I don't like to compare exaggeratively like a lager to an IPA, because we know what an IPA is supposed to taste like.
Yeah.
Or a triple IPA, which those are more sweeter, kind of in a weird way.
Yeah.
And comparing them to like a hazy IPA, which is really like strong sometimes. So I try to stay in my lane and remember, based off of that category, what I've tried and what I like in that category. Because certain styles of beer are more pleasant to certain palates than others.
Okay, that's a valid response, and I like that feedback. Any final words on the beer, guys?
I hope people go and try it.
Yeah.
Try it.
This is one to really try.
Yeah. Regardless of what we may say on here, just go and try it. It's really good.
You might be surprised.
Yeah, and that goes for any other beer we've already reviewed or talked about.
Yeah.
Definitely just try it, because everybody's palate's a little bit different. Some people really love, like, for example, there's guys that only drink stouts. I can't,
Yeah.
Chris Guess is one of them. He can drink stouts. I can't, so
Stouts
because
are really good.
So because I don't like it, you can't take my word for certain things.
Right.
So we want you guys to always try these beers, preferably as you're listening to this, but just not driving.
Everyone has a preference.
Yeah.
Chris Kratz likes stouts. I like sours, and he's not a fan.
Yeah, and I just like lagers.
You mostly like lagers,
Yeah.
or triple IPAs.
I mean, that was the whole point, man, to make a podcast of people that don't like similar stuff.
Right. That way we get different opinions, and we get to just try different beers. And for people who are scared to experiment, you get to hear our reactions and opinions.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever stated that before, by the way, which beer type we prefer.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I don't prefer sours, but I just usually
I prefer lagers. Like realistically, unless it's I want to try a new IPA, if I see a lager, I'm always going to pick a lager.
Okay.
Yeah, I to be honest, I kind of always look for stouts. If they have something that even seems remotely interesting in a stout, I'll take that over anything else on the menu.
I see.
So yeah, I'll take that stout. I'll claim stouts for myself.
Yeah, well, I want to just acknowledge that I'm really proud of what Stone Cold Steve Austin has done in his career. He hosts television shows. He has a social media personality. He's
He
an
has
actor. He's a producer.
he has his own podcast.
He does. He really
The
does.
Broken Skull Sessions.
Right. And you know what's pretty interesting is I didn't know that he played football before he got into wrestling. So he went to the University of North Texas, I believe, and he played
Go
football.
figure, right?
Right. Of course, Texas. But yeah, so he played football, and at the age of 19, he went to go try out, and he got into like practicing and preparing for wrestling world, and that was in 1989. So that was that. He signed with the World Championship Wrestling, or WCW, in 1991 and was known as the Stunning Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Stunner.
Yep.
When he had hair, blonde hair.
Because he was
Blonde hair.
stunning at the time.
Yeah, and from there he went to ECW, where he signed with WWF, which is now known as WWE, and that was in 1995. He played an anti-hero.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
You mean a heel?
sure. I'm waiting for that show to come back, Heels.
I haven't finished the first season.
Yeah, we did.
No,
We
we
did.
didn't.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
We did not finish the first season of Heels.
Yeah, we did.
No, we did not.
We
Yeah, we
did.
did.
To be continued.
It was like 6 episodes, right?
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
It
We
wasn't-
didn't
was-
finish it.
Yeah, we did.
I'm pretty certain.
We'll double check right
Okay,
now.
we'll double check. Follow, check in next week with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, due to multiple knee injuries and a serious neck injury from 1997 at a pay-per-view SummerSlam,
God
he
damn
was
it.
forced to retire from his in-ring competition in 2003.
Yep. And that's why you haven't
Nobody
heard-
gets hit with the Stone Cold Stunner anymore.
Well,
Not enough.
Vince McMahon did.
Yeah,
At
he had
WrestleMania.
he did have a feud with Vince McMahon. I was reading about that.
He always had feuds with Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
Well,
that
I
was the funny
mean,
part.
he seems like the person to go against anyone in power because he just wants to do what he wants. He
Yeah.
wants to be
The beer
himself.
trucks. The beer trucks were mine. It's
I
just like,
think-
God damn it, he did it all.
I think that's what made that so interesting. I think that's what made the WWF at the time so interesting.
It was entertaining.
It was just no. It was entertaining, but it was just raw. And I'm not trying to be funny with the puns, but it was just raw, like material. Like it was just pure raw material.
Yeah. He was finally inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2009, which would be 19 years after he retired. Which
19. What?
that's what it said.
19 years after girl, do your math.
I don't know how to math.
Bro, you just said he was in 2003 in the WWE. What the
It was
fuck?
it was 6 years after he retired. How do you get? How do you get
19 years,
maybe you meant 19 years, like a 19-year career.
Maybe.
Like he got into the Hall of Fame after his,
He retired at a 19-year career.
Yeah.
Maybe I interpreted it wrong. I
Yes.
apologize. I don't
Okay,
math.
she's drunk.
Probably.
And with that, guys,
What?
I don't know. I'm just trying to see Lena's face. Very sad.
I have more points.
Go for it.
Say all the points.
Say all your points.
He currently hosts a podcast called The Steve Austin Show.
No, it's the Broken Skull Sessions.
No, it's just a Steve Austin show. It started in 2013.
Are you sure? I think you got your facts wrong. Did you go to Wikipedia?
I was on there for a while.
You got one of your facts wrong, so I have to question whatever you say now. Are you sure?
He also has a show called Straight Up Steve Austin.
Are you sure that exists?
That one, I'm pretty
I've
certain.
never heard of that.
So he stopped doing his show
Oh.
to do the Broken Skull Sessions.
Oh, well, there you
So
go.
what was the show?
The one Lena mentioned earlier.
Okay.
That's what you get for doubting me. Boom.
Well, I take
Drop
that
the
any
mic.
day.
I didn't drop it on
And
this
he
one.
has confirmed he has no plans to bring back the old show, the Steve Austin show.
Oh, no?
No, because he's sticking to the Broken Skull Sessions.
Well, that one's on the WWE network, right? Or
Yeah,
like on
and-
Peacock?
And yeah, and it's really good. I mean, if you've watched it, it's
It's really good because I think you have Becky Lynch on one of them.
No, it's not just that.
No,
He has a lot of WWE
he
stars
has
on it.
like yeah, he does. He really
Yeah.
does.
We watched the entire podcast with Chris Jericho. I was gonna say
Oh
White
yeah,
Jericho.
that was okay. So I'll give you a little small insight. So, Chris Jericho was currently a WWE superstar. Who
Was currently or
okay, who was
is currently or
no, who was, and he left WWE to join New Japan, and during that time when he was in New Japan, he kind of
spoiled it.
went to AEW, became a top star, and he appeared on the Broken Skull sessions, which was very weird because an AEW superstar on a WWE show, it's weird. So everybody's like, "Oh shit, what the fuck is going on?" But yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, so that was interesting, and he's done multiple films and TV shows over the years. One that I really enjoyed was The Condemned, which was one of the first few shows that WWE did with superstars, and it was great. It was great. There's that one line that I'll never forget where they're like, why'd you blow up that building? Oh, like, because he was in El Salvador, and that's where my family is from, on my mom's side. And they're like, why'd you blow up that building? Oh, because it was blocking my son. And it was just really interesting.
Okay.
It was funny because he was in an interrogation. Like, they really wanted to know what the hell he was doing there, what his business was, and how he was involved with, the building blowing up. And he's like, I blew it up because it was blocking my son because he was on vacation.
Okay, Lena, that's a great line.
It is.
All right. Any other points you want to bring up?
I mean, there are more things that he's been in and done. Like, honestly, like I said, he paved the way a lot. He was one of the first few WWE, or I can't really specify to that. He was one of the first few wrestling stars, and he's done so much to pave the way for others. It sucks that his in-ring competition career got cut short, but I appreciate that he's still part of the world, like part of the entertainment business, and he has WWE stars on his podcast, and he talks about the industry, and it gives you like a deeper look into the way things work. Like he explains how ring matches are really, really planned and strategically thought out, and they have to be approved, and like stuff like that. You don't always know the process, and it's really interesting to find out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right. Any final words on the beer and or Stone Cold Steve Austin?
There's a website. It's called Broken Skull Ranch, and you can kind of see what else he's been up to. He has that show, Straight Up Steve Austin. I forgot the name. Straight Up Steve Austin, and I think it's like a competition show. It's like a reality competition show. He is selling like some type of pocket knives. He is a part of certain just certain things, and when you go to the brokenskullranch.com, you can find out what else he's been up to, and be a part of it. So that was pretty cool.
All right. Chris Cass, any final words on the beer?
It's a pretty good beer. Everybody should go taste this, regardless. And yeah, man, that's it.
All right. I think that that wraps it up. My final words are, Stone Cold, you're a goddamn beast. We love you. We appreciate you. And you made some pretty amazing beer here. I can't wait to try the American Lager.
Right.
But yeah, cool guys. So that's a wrap on this episode.
That's a wrap. And with that being said, I want to say always drink responsibly, never drink and drive, and just be a decent human being in these horrible, horrible times. So I've been Lena.
I've been Flameskid.
And I've been Chris Cass. And that's the bottom line, cause
Stone Cold said so.